We're going to tell you a little bit today, not about a case study or a new product or a new offering, but really about research. And the reason why this is particularly important is because for us, we support the entire AOL organization. Everything from our brands like Huffington Post and Engadget to our products like premium formats and video. Obviously, our sales teams and our clients and agencies are a clearly important constituent. So we have a big job, and we collect a lot of data. How we do this is by relying on a lot of the things that I'm sure most publishers in the room rely on. Digital analytics and observed data are core to what we do, obviously. We also have an ecosystem of partners that operate as an extension of our own teams. We do a tremendous amount of original qual and quant research, and we've also built up our own evergreen assets over the last couple of years. So what's changed? Well, like most publishers, we've seen a substantial increase in mobile traffic. According to a big data ad.com analysis that we did, advertising.com is a part of the AOL network, we found that 25% of all time spent with digital is mobile devices at home. That's a tremendous change, 25% mobile devices at home. We also see that usage patterns are really, really different than they were a few years ago. Let me give you an example. For desktop users, we basically see them using our properties, our owned and operated properties, during the work week, Monday through Friday, basically 8 to 5 or so. For tablets, it's really different. It's on the weekends, but it's also during TV primetime hours. Tablets are basically couch devices. And for phones, it's really when people are awake that they're using their phones to access our content. So this is a huge implication, right? Because we're tapping into those consumers to get insights, to help generate and uncover human insights for our constituents. So being able to navigate this is a part of what we have to figure out. This basically affects our ability to activate all of that I talked about earlier and uncover those fresh human insights for our constituents. So what we're going to talk about today is one very specific thing, which is an assessment of the role of mobile in survey research. And we're going to share with you two different pieces of data. One is around data quality, using smartphones specifically as a survey mechanism. And the second is around respondent engagement, response rates and things like that. And so specifically, we're going to talk about two different questions. Does data quality differ between desktop and mobile, and what are some of the best practices there? And the second is, does the response rate change as people fill out surveys across these different modes? How we did this is we tapped into AOL Listens, which is our panel. It's 10,000 people. It's age, gender, and geo-balance. So it's folks who use our sites. It's also folks that don't use our sites. It's representative of the US adult population. We use Vision Critical. We've had it for a couple of years now. And so because of that, we pre-screen our audiences, as you do with these kinds of things. We understood that we had a lot of smartphone users in our panel. We identified 1,554 of them who had pre-identified themselves as being phone users. And what we basically did is assign those users into 3 randomly selected modes. The first was smartphone, meaning we forced our respondents to take the survey via smartphone. The second cell was desktop. We forced that cell to take the survey via the desktop. And the third was a self-select. So the respondent could choose a smartphone or a desktop.
All right, so the first thing we see here is the participation rate. And what is immediately apparent is that you could see in the self-select as well as the desktop laptop, the participation rate is significantly higher than what we see in the mobile. And what this says is two things. First, by giving people the option to complete a survey through mobile, we don't get any significant increase in participation rate. Second, when we looked at the mode of completion among self-select, actually 90% was mobile. So we are just going to look at both. I'm sorry, 90% was desktop, laptop. So we're just going to look at mobile and desktop, laptop throughout the rest of this research. So first, we wanted to look at how accuracy affected based on a mode of completion. So we gave respondents 5 things to put in order from smallest to largest: the sun, the moon, the earth, the White House, and the Grand Canyon. And we did this both on desktop as well as mobile. And what we see here is that accuracy is actually higher on the mobile device. But the accuracy actually isn't that great, so maybe that says something about the US school system, but that's another story. We wanted to quantify how open ends differed among the two modes. So we see here non-response junk, no significant difference. Median number of characters, no significant difference. Median number of words, exactly the same. The median number of syllables, no significant difference. Median number of syllables per word, no significant difference. Median number of sentences, no significant difference. Then we get to the flesh reading ease, which lower numbers correspond to more readable text. And what we see here again is no significant difference. When we look at flesh Kincaid grade level, and the number here corresponds to grade level in the United States. And what we see here is that both modes completed just below a 7th grade writing level. And again, American school system. But here we have, next thing we need to look at was respondent engagement. And this is really important for two very big reasons. First, in individual surveys, the more we keep respondents engaged, the better responses we're going to get. And this is particularly important with surveys among panelists, because we really need to look at longitudinal output and make sure that we're continually getting good responses. So first, we look at drop-off rate, both very low, no significant difference. Enjoyment, this is a huge red flag. We see that mobile is achieving a significantly lower score than desktop, laptop. And this really means that we need to think about how, when we're crafting our surveys, that we're going to inherently have lower enjoyment on mobile. And one of the big reasons for this is that there's a negative correlation between the time spent creating the survey, taking the survey, and the enjoyment. So here you see that mobile takes over 50% longer than desktop, laptop. So that's why we see such low enjoyment numbers. So we looked at speeders, no significant difference here. We looked at the median time, and what we wanted to do was we wanted to see if the difference in timing was due to some sort of technological failing, such as slowness on the browser, or whether it was due to some other reason. So what we did was we asked respondents to complete the survey as quickly as possible, or complete the question as quickly as possible, and then click Next. And what we saw here is no significant difference between the two groups. Next, one of the big promises of mobile is that we hope to complete the surveys closer to the purchase process. So we do see this here, is that we do get significantly more respondents completing surveys outside of work, home, or school. However, it's still less than 10%, so it's really not that great. And so all things being equal, we're not going to capture it closer to the purchase process. So our three big takeaways here are, first, when we look at mobile data quality, yeah, we're getting great results. They are at least as good as desktop, laptop from a sheer data quality perspective. Second, we need to take care and craft our surveys carefully in order to keep up the engagement on mobile. And finally, we could see that mobile is ready to be part of our research toolkit. It's very strong, but it's not yet fully mature enough to to throw out the rest of our research toolkit. Thank you very much.